seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live. Welcome to the Ringside Reporter Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we'll talk about it here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Ringside Robert, and England's adopted son, Joe Habib. We have a great show for you today. And if you want to call and ask questions, you can call in right now at 323-870-3857. And we'll be here till about 8:30 or 9 tonight. Title Town in last place. Yeah, whatever. It's early. It's early. What are they like, Robert? What are they like? 8 games in? 8, 9?
Calm down. Calm down.
Right?
Baseball is a marathon, not a sprint, people.
That's right. Notorious set a hard out at 9 o'clock for WrestleMania. All right. So today we're going to talk about Claressa Shields and Christina Hammer. Who wins? Beeb has got a beating the odds with Beeb for us, and he's going to let us know. And also, this just in, breaking news. Manny Pacquiao signs with Rizin. If you're not familiar with who Rizin is, it's the MMA organization that Floyd Mayweather and Tenshin Nasukawa? Was it Nasukawa?
Correct.
Who cares? Who cares who it was? You'll never hear that guy's name again. But first, we get started with a very exciting weekend of fights. We'll start it with Showbox. Beeb, are you as excited about reviewing these as I am? I'll tell you what. Showbox put on one heck of a card. Nothing but top-notch names and up-and-comers, all of whom I cannot remember because the card was just terrible. Angelo Leo versus Neil Tabanao. Angelo Leo won a unanimous decision by the scores of 100-89 and 100-90 twice. I actually fell asleep during the middle of this fight, and I was going to watch the rest of it, but quite honestly just didn't care enough to. Robert, you saw the fight. Did anything about Angelo Leo impress you?
I think he's a good prospect, but I think the middle prospect, the one who fought in the middle fight, actually is the one that stole the show. Martinez, Leo did good with the competition he was giving, but I think Martinez is the one that stole the entire card.
All right. Yeah, I don't know, man. There's been a lot of talk about Showtime getting the short end of the stick when it comes to boxing. And, I really didn't get it. Listen, man, I really didn't get it, but they seem to be. A lot of the fights are going to Fox. A lot of the fights are going, I don't know, man. But this stuff that they put on to, man, that was bad. It was bad.
Well, right now, I think the Premier Boxing Champions organization has to put their best foot forward for Fox so they can justify the money that Fox is paying them. So I do believe that Showtime is kind of getting the short end of the stick. But I heard an interview with Steven Espinoza the other day, and he doesn't seem to be too worried about it because he said, we do have more fights coming on our schedule. Things are slow right now, but he doesn't seem to be concerned. And if Steven Espinoza is not concerned, I don't think the rest of us should be. Besides, the fight... Yeah.
I mean,
but
really,
what's he
supposed to say? We're in shambles?
But Eric, the fight coming up on Saturday is I think will, stand alone, and I think people will watch, if they care about boxing, because I do think we're going to get a very good fight out of it. So I don't think anybody should panic.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But and maybe you're right, maybe you're not. I don't know, but
all the fights are on Fox now. That Fox deal is gonna really cause Showtime problems, man.
Right? I mean, doesn't it seem like that though? You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this: if you're a fighter and you get a choice, I'm gonna fight on Showtime or Fox. Who are you gonna pick?
Obviously, you're gonna pick Fox. You know?
Yeah, I mean that's a no-brainer.
Yeah,
no-brainer.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, I mean that's a complete no-brainer. Of course they're going to Fox. Why would I fight on Show? And it's the same amount of money. Why?
Probably make more money on Fox because the budget's bigger.
Right. You know,
right.
I mean, so what? You know, what incentive do I have? And it's we're fighting for the same company, PBC.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. Not good. So that was pretty much the televised fights for this weekend. But let's talk about some non-televised fights and some interesting fights. And I was kind of surprised that this one was not televised anywhere. If it was, I didn't see it. Ramon Alvarez versus Juan Carlos Paz. If you're wondering who Ramon Alvarez is, it's Canelo's brother. He's always in exciting fights. I don't care what fight it is. He's always in a war. They're always exciting. He always comes to fight. Alvarez wins a 10-round split decision over Jose Carlos Paz. Excuse me if maybe I misspoke. I thought maybe I called him Juan. But why this fight wasn't televised is beyond me. And again, maybe it was, but I didn't see it. Omar Chavez, son of Julio Cesar Chavez, versus Andres Villeman. Chavez wins by 7th-round TKO. They said he looked really good in that fight, really explosive. But again, he's fighting Andres Villeman. Robert, your boy, Ricardo Mayorga, fought this weekend.
God.
Fought Lester Martinez. Now, you probably haven't heard of Lester Martinez. You know why? Because he was making his pro debut. That's right. That's right, his pro debut. Martinez stopped Mayorga in 2 rounds. It was his pro debut. They said
some people just know they need to quit, man. That's just all there is to it.
Wow. It was funny because after the fight, because that's what I thought, they said during the fight, it looked like, Mayorga came out for about 30 seconds and put up a fight, and then looked like he got tired. His reflexes are shot. Obviously, he's 46 years old, you know. But after the fight, after he was stopped in the 2nd round, of course, Mayorga said he will fight 2 more times. That's kind of odd to me that he still has that on his timetable. I'm going to fight twice more. 2 more times. That's what I'm going to do. Does anybody else find that odd? You know?
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah.
It's
extremely odd. Yeah.
Right.
It's kind of like the Steve Forbes thing that we talked about on last show, man. Why are some of these fighters getting licenses?
Robbie, that's a question that inquiring minds want to know.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because it took place in Nicaragua or something like that. Where's Mayorga from? He's from
Nicaragua.
He's from Nicaragua.
There you go. Well, that's where the fight took place. My guess, I don't know this for sure. My guess is that the licensing and everything like that may not be as stringent, shall we say?
Oh, you're probably right about that. You know.
Oh my goodness, Steve Forbes, 2-pound Forbes, came back to face Tavares Teague.
Michael.
Forbes wins a unanimous decision. No big shocker there. He's been out for quite a while. I think 4 years. I don't know why he's fighting again. Remember, this was the odd one. It was like a 7-round fight or something stupid.
Yeah.
Does anybody?
In Oregon, of all places.
Yeah. You know. Notorious VC. This is interesting. Said he would watch Mayorga Malignaggi in bare-knuckle boxing. I don't think so. I think Mayorga's too far gone for that. I really do. I think he's too far gone.
And I don't even think Paulie should be there. I don't even know why he's doing it. He's making enough money elsewhere.
Did you see the faces and the hands of Artem Lobov and the guy that he fought?
No, I did not.
That's
Lobov
mad.
Won, didn't he?
Yeah, but that's madness. That is madness. Fighting bare knuckles. You could break your hands. You're getting hit in the face. It doesn't matter how hard the punch is. You get hit in the face with a bare fist. That's going to cause a laceration.
Well, and you know the other thing too to remember, it's a completely different style of fight. Completely different. And I remember Bobby Gunn talking about it, and when he was telling us that you have to turn your punches a certain way. It's not the same thing as regular boxing. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. It's a little bit different. MMA obviously would be the closest to it, but he said there is differences. There's some big differences. And you think about it, you're like, well, he's crazy because, you know, if you're able to box, you should be able to do this. Well, that may be true. But, you know, I mean, he Bobby Gunn was the champion of the bare-knuckles when he went to boxing. I mean, don't get me wrong, he fought everybody. But it was a different animal.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No. I mean, these guys had nothing on their hands yesterday, but they had tape around their wrists. Yeah. So there wasn't even tape on their hands. So that's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary.
There wasn't even tape on their hands?
No, just around their wrists.
Wow.
So it's true bare knuckle. Maybe Bobby Gunn was saying like a lot of these bare knuckles they have like tape on their hands.
Right.
And he said that's not true bare knuckle. This was true bare knuckle. This was true bare knuckle fighting. And these guys were flailing too, man. Like they didn't look that good. Like Lobam didn't look that good.
No. And I'm anxious to see how Paulie looks in there.
Well, this is the crazy thing about Paulie. The guy's got friggin' pins in his hands. His hands are so fragile. He's gonna have nothing to protect his hands. This is again. Supposedly he's getting big money. He thinks it's gonna be easier. I don't know how this is gonna be good for his fragile hands without having any padding or protection on them at this age.
Right. No, I don't either. He had brittle hands, like you said. He had brittle hands to begin with.
He was breaking his hands with gloves on. How's he not going to break his hands now without gloves on?
Yeah. Insane.
Excuse me for saying this, but he must be a masochist for surgeries and pain because that's all he's got to look forward to by doing this stupid kind of stuff.
I mean, it's 5 rounds. It's 2-minute rounds, so it's 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes of fighting, which isn't too bad. But still...
Well, at 2 minutes, you can push that pace, you know.
2 minutes, it doesn't take much to break a hand.
No.
So
yeah, and
that's my concern with the whole thing with Paulie Malignaggi.
Yeah, and I mean, at 2 minutes, you have to push the pace, and Paulie's more of a defensive guy. He's not really a kind of come out there and go get you, you know. I don't know.
I mean, he only had 7 knockouts during his boxing career. What makes him think he's going to be able to do this?
I think he's still chasing. I think he's chasing Artem Lobov, and I think he wants to fight. He wants to lure McGregor in there into a bare knuckle fight. I mean, you know, I think that's where he's at. He's really held on to this whole thing with McGregor. I mean, it really dominates. You know, I don't know, man. It really dominates his whole being anymore. If you look at his social media, every day he's got something coming out about McGregor. Every day he's doing an interview about Lobov and McGregor, and it's just, like, dude, let it go. You know, there's no reason for it. I don't know. Hey, you know something? While I was reading off these fights, something kind of struck me, and you know how MTK Promotions. They got on ESPN Plus, and you have a lot of other promotions getting on to like the streaming services and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What about Zanfer? Why isn't Zanfer on any kind of streaming platform?
Well, they work very closely with Top Rank too, Zanfer. So I don't know if Top Rank can put some of their fighters co-promote some of their shows and put them on ESPN Plus. I'm sure that's an avenue that they could use. Being affiliated with Top Rank and Bob Arum, no?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. Like Alvarez, like I said, the Alvarez fight, you know, and again, I mean, I like Alvarez just because he's always in exciting fights. You know, when you see this guy, you know there's going to be a fight. But that was a Zanfer card. I'm not sure if the Omar Chavez was a Zanfer card as well, but all the big fighters, all the big Mexican stars come from Zanfer.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had just an enormous amount of stars come from that organization. You know, that to me is like the real Showbox over there. You know, you're getting stars. I mean, they're coming from Zanfer. You know, as far as the Mexican stars anyway.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. I would love to see them get some kind of deal like that, though. Like get into the zone or get into, you know, something along those lines.
Well, Jason just said that Jaime Munguia is co-promoted by Zanfer and Golden Boy. So
yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Munguia's another one that came from Zanfer.
Thanks, Jason.
Let's see here. And that was pretty much it for the fights this weekend, man. Let's go to the schedule here. And let's see what's going on.
Next week's good.
Yes, this week is good.
Next
week's pretty good.
Than this week, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. April 10th on UFC Fight Pass. What is that, Wednesday, Robert?
Yes.
All right. Ivan Gola versus Manuel Alejandro Reyes, 10 rounds welterweights. And Alicia Napoleon versus Eva Bajic, 8 rounds female super middleweights. This has got to be that DeBella's like Broadway boxing or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would think so anyway. April 12th, Friday on ESPN Plus. Vasyl Lomachenko versus Anthony $1 Million Crolla. 12 rounds for Lomachenko's WBA, WBO lightweight title. Gilberto Zerto Ramirez versus Tommy Carpensey, 10 rounds, light heavyweights. Your boy, Robert, is back, man. Arnold Barboza versus Mile High, Mike Alvarado, 10 rounds, welterweights.
Oh, my God.
That's your boy, man. Don't even lie about it. That's your boy.
Not mine.
Yeah, you know.
I don't claim him.
You know he's your boy, son. On April 13th, and we'll go back to the Lomachenko fight here in a minute.
Okay.
On April 13th in Atlantic City on Showtime, Claressa Shields versus Christina Hammer, 10 rounds for the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO on the line. On the undercard, Jermaine Franklin versus Riddell Booker, 10 rounds heavyweights. Otto Wallen versus Nick Kisner, 10 rounds heavyweights. And Sam Peter, Beeb, your boy, returns against Mario Heredia, 8 rounds heavyweights. Also, on April 13th, Saturday, on DAZN from Mexico, Monterrey, Mexico, my old stopping grounds. Title fight, Jaime Munguia versus Dennis Hogan, 12 rounds for Munguia's WBO junior middleweight title. I think, if I'm not mistaken, man, I could be wrong, but Dennis Hogan was, I think he's stablemates with Jeff Horn. And I think
you're right.
Freddie Roach now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think it's going to help him out at all, but yeah, it is what it is. Patrick Teixeira versus Dormidas Potes, 10 rounds, junior middleweights. Your boy Robert Diego De La Hoya versus Enrique Bernache, 10 rounds, featherweights. What weight did he have trouble with? Was it featherweight?
126, or was it 122? One of the two. I think it was 122, and he had to go up to 126.
So 126 is featherweight, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe he's moved up. Yeah, De La Hoya shows that guy no respect at all. Boy, look at him. He's putting fourth on the card. He's not co-main. He's not underneath the co-main. Nothing, man. They show that guy zero respect, son.
Oscar really treats his family well, doesn't he?
Wow.
Please, Robbie.
Also, April 13th, a lot of fights Saturday, man. You got to love this. It makes up for this week.
Yep.
Makes up for the Mayorga fiasco. Minneapolis on Fox Sports 1. Caleb Truax versus Peter Quillin. 12 rounds for the IBF Super Middleweight Eliminator. Really?
That should be a decent fight, yeah.
IBF Super, but Peter Quillin? I mean...
Well, I don't know, but hey, at least they're fighting.
Maybe he's been active. I don't even remember that. Sergey Derevyanchenko versus Jack Colquet, 12 rounds for the IBF middleweight eliminator. A lot of eliminators here. Chris Colbert versus Mario Briones, 10 rounds, junior lightweights. Darwin Price versus Yakubu Amidu, 8 rounds, junior welterweights. Let me see if there's any other names worth mentioning. Your boy, Money Powell the fourth versus the dreaded TBA, 6 rounds, super middleweights. I want to see Money Powell again, man. That guy's pretty slick.
Hey, jam-packed Saturday. I like it.
Yeah, I like Money Powell, man. All right, and that should do it. All right, so let's review. Let's go back up here, and let's check out this ESPN card. So they got two good names on it. 3 if you count Mike Alvarado. Robert, are you going to count Mike Alvarado?
No.
Wow.
Not at this stage.
Wow, that's rough, man. That's just rough. All right, but let's talk about the Lomachenko Anthony $1 Million Crolla for 12 rounds for Lomachenko's WBA and WBO lightweight title. Now, Lomachenko was supposed to be fighting Richard Colme. Colme pulled out with an injury. Colme's training again, so hopefully that fight takes place after this one.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying this. I really like Anthony Crolla. I've always been a fan of his. I've always been a fan of Anthony Crolla. And I like his style, I like the way he fights, man. The guy's a fighter, man. But and I'll tell you what, I'll be rooting for him on Friday. Man. That being said, man, that's a tall order. That's a real tall order against Lomachenko, man. I don't think he's going to be able to get it done. I think Lomachenko is just too much for him. I really do. And I think he's just too slick for him. I think, and I do think Lomachenko probably puts him away. I would like to see, don't get me wrong, man. I'd love to see Crolla win that fight. But, man, I don't think that's going to happen, man. I got to give the edge to Lomachenko in a big way. Robert, what are your thoughts on this fight right here?
I'm like you. Anthony Crolla, every time he fights, he puts on a hell of a show. He gives the fans their money's worth. He's very competitive. But you talk about a step up in class. I'm praying for a good fight in this, but I definitely see Lomachenko definitely dominating him. If not knocking him out, it'll be a wide decision. And that's just way too bad because Anthony Crolla is no slouch. But I definitely see Lomachenko winning this going away.
Yeah, very good fighter, man. Very good fighter. Beeb, what are your thoughts on this fight, Crolla-Lomachenko?
Well, speed kills, brother, and that's the biggest problem he's going to have in this fight is Lomachenko's speed, his movement, his precision punching. I mean, this is a guy that lost back-to-back decisions against Jorge Linares, and we saw what Lomachenko did to Linares. So, like you said, this is almost mission impossible here, in my opinion. With all due respect to Crolla, he just doesn't move his head very well. He's not great defensively. Comes to fight, he's a grinder, likes to come forward, likes to get inside, likes to go to the body. So that'll be interesting to see if he can get to Lomachenko's body. But again, Lomachenko doesn't stand there for you to hit his body. He's constantly moving. We'll see, because like I said, Lomachenko does move side to side a lot, but he always comes back to the center when he attacks. Let's see if Crolla can time that and stab him to the body and take some of those legs away from him. That's the only chance he has in this fight, is to make it ugly.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think this ends in 6, before 6 even. I think that he's going to catch him. I think this actually, I think, will look a lot like the Rocky Martinez fight. Really,
maybe, yeah.
And like I said, man, I hate that. I don't want to see Crolla get manhandled like that, man. But this is just a tall order.
But in defense to Loma, they did have Comey on deck. Comey's definitely a solid challenger. That would have been a very intriguing fight. And I got a question. Notorious VC brought this up in the chat. Why is this fight on a Friday? Is that a good move, having a fight like this, or trying to showcase Lomachenko on a Friday night? Like boxing, most people watch boxing on Saturday nights, right?
That is true. That being said, though, we talked about the listen, Fox, DAZN, and Showtime all have fights on Saturday.
Okay.
This is a good move in the sense that it should isolate the crowd. You know what I mean? The people watching the fights, it should isolate them.
Good point.
But the fact that it's on ESPN Plus, that's kind of when it makes you say, what? You know?
I wish it was on ESPN, really.
I do too. I do too, because I think it would get more viewers on ESPN versus ESPN Plus. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't get it, man. I really don't.
Like Michelle Rosado said, they're going to have to give some decent matchups to the apps. She made a good point there, and I never thought of it.
She made a great point, man. Yeah, she made a great point there. And she's right. She's right.
You can't just keep putting mid-level matchups on the app and expect people to subscribe to it, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, you want to see Lomachenko, man, you're going to have to see you're going to have to go to the app, or you want to see, whatever they want to put the big names on the app. So
and then when I asked Bob said that you could even see Tyson Fury on the app too.
Yeah. Now,
well, yeah, his next fight will be on the app, Beeb.
Right.
Which is crazy.
Now, Teofimo Lopez will be ringside for the fight, the Lomachenko fight. They both have the same promoter. Teofimo is 12-0 now?
Yeah.
Somewhere around there. Do you think, Beeb, they make that fight right now? Or do you think they wait on that fight?
I think the possibility they may make it now, because who else does Lomachenko have to fight?
Well, I mean, he's got Kame. He's got
Richard Comey.
Yeah.
Besides him, who else?
Well, I'm sure they want to unify those champions at lightweight. I mean, I don't know. I think it may be a little premature for Lopez.
Well, what the hell is Mikey Garcia going to do? We don't even know if he's going to, he's got the other two belts.
Yeah, he needs to basically.
So he's either got to do something with them or vacate them. So
right.
Well, that's the thing, and I think
so. You can't unify those belts if Mikey decides to keep them.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to hold off on. I think that if Lomachenko has his druthers, he wants Mikey Garcia next. And honestly, this is the perfect time. If ever was a perfect time to get Mikey Garcia, it's right now. Right after that big loss.
I mean, they should make that fight in a heartbeat. Both sides should want it now.
100%. And I mean, if you're Lomachenko, man, I want that fight next. I don't want to wait. I want it right now.
That's a can't miss.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You kidding? I'd love to see that fight, but I think Comey would give him a good fight also.
No, I think the Comey fight ends like the Crolla fight. I don't think that, and it may not end a knockout, but I mean, you're getting the same result. It's a one-sided. I think it's a one-sided fight. I don't think Comey is good enough to hang in there with him and make it competitive for 12 rounds. He's just not.
Well, he's got a tough style though, Comey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I mean, so does Lomachenko too. I mean, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I just, how do you see that? I mean, do you see him being like super competitive against Loma?
Yeah, I think he wins 4 rounds.
Really?
4 or 5. Yeah, I think he can win 4 or 5 rounds, but I think he'll still lose.
So you think? I mean, you can see a 7-5.
Comey's got that style, man. He's just not an easy out. I don't think he's an easy out. I actually thought he beat Robert Easton. Thought he got robbed. I'm not gonna say he got robbed, but I thought he won the fight. And I just think he's very tricky. I think he's very tricky.
I think Comey's better than what people are giving him credit for.
I think Robert Easter won 12 of those rounds.
And I think he's
an easy fight for you.
And I think he's a great inside fighter, and he's got pretty quick feet too. So he can position himself and get in there because he's pretty athletic. I think he's got quick feet, like I said. So I think Lomachenko. It's going to be interesting to see if he can constantly evade Comey, and if Comey's going to be able to cut the ring off against Lomachenko. That's what I'm curious to see, because I think he'll have his moments in there, and he can punch too, and he can crack a little bit too. He's got like I said, he's got a sneaky right hand, and he's got a nice little short hook, an uppercut on the inside. I think he's tough. I think he's a tough out.
All right. Yeah. I mean, hopefully that fight comes a bit. But what about Teofimo Lopez? I mean, do you think that that guy...
That could be next.
Man, that guy's a tough guy.
That could be next.
And he's got a tough style.
Bob will make it. You don't care.
Yeah, I believe Lomachenko after this fight has got some tough fights ahead, especially if he fights Comey, if he fights Lopez, if he can get Mikey in the ring. This might be the last.
Yeah, he won't get Mikey in the ring. I don't think.
No, probably not. But we can always wishful think. Yeah. But Mikey's going to have to decide what to do with those titles, and he's also going to have to decide what division he's going to fight in.
Yeah, that's true.
I think he should probably go up to 140, but I don't know. It's just me. My guess is that he'll probably vacate those titles before.
What about Mikey? What about Mikey versus Regis Prograis? Who wins that one?
Jeez.
Oh, I love that fight.
I do too, but the thing is, we won't see that one until after the series. The series is over. But I like Mikey at with any one of those guys. Those are super fights, man.
Yeah.
And besides, Prograis is a mandatory challenger for Jose Ramirez's title, so that's eventually going to happen as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the undercard of that Lomachenko fight. And again, it's on ESPN Plus, which is what it is. So, but Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez versus Tommy Carpenter, 10 rounds light heavyweights. This should be a very easy tune-up for Ramirez. Didn't Carpenter is the one that fought
Chad Dawson.
Right? Chad Dawson, yep.
Okay. He actually was at the fight when he fought Chad Dawson in Connecticut. He beat Chad Dawson.
Didn't he
fight?
Yep.
Didn't he fight Adonis though?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did actually. He got destroyed.
Because he became like mandatory or something like that.
And he got knocked out. I think he got knocked out in the 4th round.
I think so too. But he's a heavy puncher, right? He's a pretty heavy puncher.
He's decent pop, but not like a one-punch knockout guy.
Gotcha.
No.
Not like Stevenson.
But I think this is a good debut for Gilberto in light heavyweight.
It kind of makes no sense, this fight, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's a kind of a tune-up fight for him going into light heavyweight. But I think that him going into light heevyweight really mixes things up in there.
But it's a real soft touch, man.
Yeah, and he'll of course
with all due respect to Carpenter, this is a soft touch.
Yeah, and of course Ramirez will be giving up his title at 168, so that'll become vacant.
He hasn't done that yet, so we don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
we don't know yet.
And Carpenter lost to Stevenson a while ago.
And
I don't know that he's done much since then. I don't know, but I have
no idea.
I haven't heard it. So Arnold Barboza versus Mike Alvarado.
Vosnik beat Carpenter too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
Yeah, you're right. This is a soft touch. He's kind of like a relegated.
Fonfora beat him.
Yep.
Cleverly beat him.
Yep.
Murat beat him.
Yeah.
So
he's been around. He's been around the block.
Yeah, sure. He's not gonna win a title.
No.
But he's a southpaw, so we'll see.
Yeah. Let's see here, and then Arnold Barboza versus Mike Alvarado. Mike Alvarado just a fighter that just keeps hanging around, and my guess is that he'll probably look. I don't know what they're trying to do. If they're trying to position him to fight, I don't know. I don't even want to say it.
Because don't even say it because that's probably already planted in their brain.
Fight Brandon Rios in the 4th fight, maybe. Who knows?
Put him in a retirement home somewhere.
Man, that would be the best case scenario is to fight Brandon Rios. Because I'm thinking they may feed him to Crawford. I don't know, but who knows?
Yeah, I think they're setting him up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's
God help us.
And let's talk about on DAZN, April 13th from Monterrey, Mexico. Jaime Munguia versus Dennis Hogan, 12 rounds for Munguia's WBO junior middleweight title. So I favor Munguia in this. They're going to bring him along because, Munguia is a good fighter. He's got good punching power. He's a big guy, big, strong guy. But I'll tell you what, man, he is definitely vulnerable. He's definitely vulnerable. He's very... a
lot of holes defensively, right?
A lot of holes.
Got a lot of switch teeth.
Holes, man. And so that to me, and they're going to move him. They're not going to put him in there with anybody dangerous right now. That being said, I think he washes Dennis Hogan. I think that's why Dennis Hogan is there. And I think everybody pretty much knows that. Robert, what about you? What are your thoughts on this?
No, I totally agree with you. Because I heard an interview with his promoter, and he said probably at the end of the year they're going to move him up to 160 because they don't think he's going to be able to stay at 154 very much longer. And he is only like 22 years old, so expect to see him soon at middleweight.
Yeah, I think a guy like we talked about like Charlo and stuff, and that would be a tough fight for him to make, obviously, just because of the logistics promotional wise. But I'll tell you, man, that is I wouldn't put him in there with Charlo, not right now. No way, no way.
No.
Diego De La Hoya fighting Enrique Bernache, another fight on there. I
feel bad for Diego. He never gets the respect. He's always put on cards. He's never, and he's a good little fighter. And hopefully he's in the right weight class now where there's no more weight issues.
Right. Sogo in the chat, thank you so much, my man. We appreciate it. Thanks for the show. He said, thanks for the show, guys. And, hey, man, thank you for being here. Very nice, man. Very nice. And Georgie Porigi says, Eric, is that a soccer jersey? Yes, it is. FC Cincinnati, I just got back from the game a little bit ago. So I came back from the game and just jumped on the show. So there you go. So there we go. All right, let's talk about Caleb Truax versus Peter Quillin. 12 rounds for the IBF super middleweight eliminator. Well, this should be a good fight. It should be a competitive fight. But I got a question like Peter Quillin here in the sense that, why is this? I don't understand why this is an eliminator. I guess that's my question. I'm not saying it's not a solid fight, but I don't get it.
Yeah, these two guys. Are they at the top of the super middleweight division? Are they legitimate top 5 guys right now at super middleweight?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. With respect to both guys, I just don't think they are. They haven't done. I mean, credit to Truax, he did beat the Gale. And I actually thought he won the second fight too. So, but again, when you look at some of these other guys out there, like Uzkataki, and you look at guys like Badu Jack, and you look at guys like
Badu Jack has moved up, Beeb.
Yeah, he's at
light heavyweight now.
He's at 175.
Right.
When you look at guys like Ramirez, and you look at Chris Eubank Jr. and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know. I just think these guys are on another level compared to these guys.
Well, if memory serves correctly, the winner of this fight becomes the mandatory for Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant, yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't get that. I really don't. I mean, again, it's not a knock on the fight because we have a good fight here. Truax and Quillin, good fight. I think we'll all agree. It's a solid fight.
Yes, it is.
But I just don't understand why this is a...
David Benavidez would crush both of these guys, I think.
Absolutely he would.
On the same night. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I mean, on the same night. You could walk one right out, one right after the other. I mean, that's no-brainer, right, I
will never forget the picture of Daniel Jacobs totally destroying Peter Quillin. That'll never leave my memory, man.
And Truax is very live in this fight. I think he's got a style that present problems to Peter Quillin because Peter Quillin does not do well fighting guys like Truax, guys who can grind it out on the inside. We saw Gabe Rosado really give Peter Quillin hell in his fight, and he fought him up close. And he went to the body a lot in that fight, and really kind of muscled him on the inside. And I thought that Quillin had problems in that fight. If the cut didn't occur, who knows how that fight would have ended up. I think that fight was in the balance for Rosado.
I think Truax wins this, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would favor him too.
Yeah, I would too. And Quillin, I tell you, I mean, you know, and you mentioned the Jacobs fight. That's where it went south, man. You know, you watch that, and it just went south for him. You know, I mean, that was a 50-50 fight. Most people was picking Quillin.
That's
get the
right.
job done there, and he got washed. I mean,
and that's the worst 90 seconds of Peter Quillin's career, man.
Yeah. Andres Vargas in the chat, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Notorious VC, salute. Colbert, salute. Jason in the chat, salute. Slapnuts in the chat, salute. He's got the best name ever, doesn't he? Who beats that name, right? Who beats
that?
Salute.
Salute.
Tony in the chat, salute. Emmanuel Moreno, salute. Georgie Porgy, of course, salute. There we go. All right, so let's talk about, also, too, on this undercard, Sergey Derevyanchenko versus Jack Coquet, 12 rounds for the IBF middleweight eliminator. I like Jack Coquet, but I like Derevyanchenko in this fight.
Yeah, no, Derevyanchenko will win this.
Yeah, and this is another one that's an IBF middleweight eliminator that you just, like, kind of scratch your head. I don't know what's going on with the IBF, but, yeah, I don't know, man.
And I forget who. I forget who holds the IBF middleweight.
Isn't Calapuente has that? Oh,
no,
middleweight. Middleweight.
Middleweight.
I thought that was super middleweight.
Yeah.
Right?
No, Jacobs. Jacobs has the IBF middleweight.
That's right. That's right.
He beat Derevyanchenko.
So this becomes, whoever wins this fight becomes mandatory for Jacobs. And they'll wind up being mandatory for Canelo because, you know.
And Demetrius Andrade has a WBO.
Yeah.
So Canelo has a chance to unify these titles.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, he sure does. He really does.
Do something that Triple G promised to do but never did.
Yeah, and they're all on the zone. So, I mean, he's got it right up that alley, man. All right, let's talk about the big one. In Atlantic City on Showtime, Claressa Shields versus Christina Hammer, 10 rounds for the undisputed middleweight unification. Is this the biggest fight in women's history?
I would say so.
Yeah, you know why? Because when you had like Lucia Riker, you had Christy Martin. That was supposed to be the super fight, but it never happened.
No,
I think they fought at one. I think both of them fought at, I want to say 140. I know. Christy Martin started at 135. She moved up to 140, and Lucia Riker was 140, and I think she eventually moved up to 147. But these two women were supposed to meet, and they never met. And then Ann Wolfe versus Layla Ali, that never happened. So this is the only time when you really have the two best fighting each other, really. You know. Now Cecilia Brækhus, she's the X factor in a lot of matchups because one of these fighters could probably meet her at a catchweight at 154, or maybe what's her name there? Katie Taylor could fight Brækhus at a catchweight of like 140, 142 or something like that, or she can eventually move up to 147. So, I mean, out of all the super fights in women's boxing, this is the only one that actually is being made right now.
Yeah, but I think that like with this fight, I think the only other one you could probably point to is Layla Ali and Christy Martin as being the biggest fight. But even at that point,
that was a horrible mismatch.
Way past her prime.
That was a horrible mismatch.
Yeah, I mean Christy Martin, number one, was way past her prime. She was a lot smaller than Layla Ali. I mean, we could go on and on. I mean, she couldn't box like Layla Ali. I mean, complete mismatch, honestly. And that's the biggest one that I can think of offhand. But here you got two ladies in their prime that can actually fight. You know, I mean, they can really, really fight. And Christy Martin was entertaining back in her day. She doesn't fight like either one of these two. And I think that's fair to say. I really do. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Beeb's take on this, because Hammer is the underdog, and here we go.
And now it's time for Beating the Odds with Beeb. Starring Britain's adopted son, Joe Habib.
Well, like Eric said, this is definitely the biggest fight in females boxing, at least in the last, I want to say 15 years, 20 years possibly. Christina Hammer, surprisingly to me, is a plus 325 in this fight. And Claressa Shields is a minus 400. Now, on paper, many of us thought this was a 50-50 fight, but obviously the odds makers disagree with us. Now, Christina Hammer actually has more knockouts than Claressa Shields has fights. And, you know, she's been in there with the likes of Anna Sophie Mathis, who's, the same size as her, 5'11", and she's a huge puncher, having 24 knockouts in her 27 victories. So in that fight, I thought Christina Hammer was doing very well. I thought she was actually winning the fight until she got fouled in the 5th round. And the thing about Christina Hammer is she's really good at locking up her opponents, but not only locking them up in the clinch, but locking their arms so they can't punch, or at least locking one of them up. And in that clinch, you know, she leans forward like this, so you can't really hit her in the face when she grabs you, because it's almost like she's getting you in a triangle lock, and she walks you back when she has you in that triangle lock. So she's pretty strong. And the only course of action you have if you're going to try to get out of that clinch is wait for the ref to break, or rapid punch her like Anna Sophie Mathis did and get yourself disqualified. Or ultimately that was a foul and the fight turned into a no contest because Christina Hammer could not continue. So originally it was disqualification, but it got overturned into a no contest. So the big difference here is Claressa Shields isn't as big as Anna Sophie Mathis. She's not as strong as Sophie Mathis, and she's definitely not the puncher that Mathis is. But she is aggressive. But the problem is when she's aggressive, she's careless and reckless, and she tends to flail. And a lot of the punches become arm punches, and she doesn't sit down on the shots. Whereas Christina Hammer has a pretty potent right hand. It's a pretty hard right hand, and it's an accurate right hand. And a lot of people like to dismiss what Christina Hammer does as just basically a 1-2 puncher. But she's really good at moving on the perimeter. She's good at creating space. And she's really good at, timing her punches and changing the timing of her punches. So she's really not predictable with the offense. And she's constantly changing the look from the outside. So it's really hard to get a gauge on her. And she's a very sneaky counterpuncher with that right hand. So in this fight, I see Claressa Shields trying to force the action, but I also see Christina Hammer being able to sidestep her as she's coming forward, and also as she's sidestepping her, planting and walking her into those counter right hands. And I see her frustrating Claressa Shields. When Claressa Shields gets up close, I think she'll wrap up Claressa Shields, and like I said, she has a tendency to always lock up at least one of the arms, and sometimes both of the arms, so it's hard to really get the punches off on the inside. So Christina Hammer has the height and reach advantage in this fight. Claressa Shields is going to have to try to get close, and a lot of times Claressa Shields does sometimes neglect the jab, and she'll try to walk forward, leaping in with the hook and leaping in with winging right hands. And when she does those things, it's going to give Christina Hammer opportunities to measure her with the jab and set her up for that sneaky right hand down the pike. So I see this being kind of like a bull versus matador type fight. I see this being a cat and mouse type fight. And I don't think Claressa Shields really has that power and that pop to take Christina Hammer out of her game. She doesn't have that one-punch fight-changing power to disrupt Christina Hammer and take the wind out of Christina Hammer's sails. And I think Claressa Shields, she looks a little big. I've been watching these fight camps, these Fight Camp 360 episodes, and she looks a little big to me. So I have to question how well she can, deal with getting down to 160, number one, because she's fought a good portion of her career at super middleweight too, and she's won a super middleweight title. So I have to question how difficult the cut's going to be, number one. And number two, Christina Hammer has fought as low as 154 pounds. She makes 160 easily. She looks, trim. She looks perfect at this weight. So I think she'll be the more conditioned athlete. And she also fights very poised, very relaxed. She doesn't fight off of emotion, whereas Claressa Shields fights off of emotion. When you tend to fight off emotion, you tend to blow your wad. You tend to use a lot of adrenaline. So I think Claressa Shields has a deep-seated resentment for Christina Hammer, calling her a ballerina, calling her a runner and all these types of names. But Christina Hammer's been to the big dance. She was a champion at 20 years old while Claressa Shields was fighting in the Olympics. So she has more experience. She has a more technical style. And when she does throw that right hand, she sits down on it. So don't be surprised if a reckless Claressa Shields coming in doesn't get countered with that right hand and possibly touches the canvas like she did against Hannah Gabriels when she squared up and was reckless in that fight and got knocked down in the first round in a fight that I thought was very competitive. So I see a more relaxed, a more cerebral, a more methodical Christina Hammer being able to measure Claressa Shields from the outside and being able to move and step around the on-rush attacks from Claressa Shields. And when Claressa Shields does get in there, I see Christina Hammer being able to tie her up, frustrate her, lock up those arms, and not allow her to move her hands on the inside. So I think that Christina Hammer has the tools and the style to really give Claressa Shields fits in this fight. And I think she's going to be the ring general in there. I think she's going to control this fight from the outside, and I think she's going to be able to tie Shields up, like I said, on the inside. And I think she's going to be able to counterpunch Shields when she comes forward and starts winging with those wide shots. So she's got all the bases covered here, and I'm looking for her to win a pretty wide decision in this fight. I don't think this fight is going to be as competitive as a lot of people think. Now, the one caveat we do have here is, the judging. I mean, this is going to be in the United States. This is going to be on Claressa Shields' home turf, so to speak. It's not going to be in Flint, Michigan, but it's going to be on the East Coast, and I'm sure she's going to bring a lot of fans from Michigan up there, up to New Jersey, and she's going to have the home crowd in her favor, and the judges are probably going to, could be affected by the oohs and ahs from the crowd on anything that Claressa Shields does. So that's the one caveat we have here. But all in all, I think style-wise, this is Christina Hammer's fight to win, and I'm going to pick her to win. It's a 10-round unanimous decision here. So I'm going with Claressa Shields at the plus 325, and I think she's definitely a live dog here. And I think this is definitely, on paper, a 50-50 fight. And it's bizarre to me that you have the two best female boxers at middleweight, and arguably in the sport, and you have such a wide disparity in odds here. So I don't know what the odds makers are seeing here, but I'm going to go with the more experienced, the more polished Christina Hammer here to win a 10-round unanimous decision.
All right, there you go. From beating the odds with Beeb. I love it. I love it. Robert, give me your prediction.
I totally agree with everything that Beeb had to say. I mean, Hammer's got the size, she's got the reach, and Shields is reckless. I could see Claressa possibly getting she could be stopped in the late rounds because of her recklessness. So I'm going to predict Hammer wins by 8th round knockout.
Wow. That's a pretty bold one right there, Robbie.
Yep. All right, Eric, are you going to make it unanimous here, or are you going to go with Shields?
All right, so here's my thoughts on it. I think that Claressa Shields, while she can be reckless, she is a good boxer. I don't think you can take that away from her. So is Hammer. You can't take that. Both of them are really good boxers. I mean, listen, you don't win, what did she win, 2 or 3? What did she win? 2 gold medals, right?
Yeah, 2 gold medals.
What's that?
2 gold medals, yep.
Yeah, you don't win two gold medals for nothing. She's got some skill there. And Hammer's got some skill also. Here's my big X factor for this fight. And I think it comes down to this. And let me explain this. I think she's going to be too, I want to say big for Hammer. I understand that Hammer is technically the bigger fighter in the sense that she's taller and everything like that. Claressa Shields, I think, is going to be the more powerful fighter. And I think that Claressa Shields is going to hit her. I don't know that she's ever been hit like that. And I don't know that she's going to have that kind of pressure put on her. Yeah,
but Sophie Mathis is a much harder puncher than Claressa Shields. And she stood up to... No, definitely. She got 24 knockouts in 27 fights. That's unquestionable.
Well,
unquestionable.
Well, it's not, because what has her competition been like?
Good fighters. She throws bricks. Yeah, she can't. Claressa Shields can't crack like Mathis. Claressa Shields is an arm puncher. She flails. I mean, she's never legitimately knocked anyone out. I mean, she's basically overwhelmed her opponents with punches, and they just don't answer back. So, that's how she gets knockouts. I mean, she's just not I don't think she's a hard puncher at all.
Do I see a non-title pie bet coming on?
Pie bet in this one easily. You'll lose this one definitely.
You're on.
You're betting Shields to knock out Hammer?
No. I'm betting Shields to win.
Yeah, she's not going to win.
All right, we're on.
She can't crack.
Bet.
The only thing we got to worry about is the judges here. That's the only problem we have.
No, unfortunately, you're right, babe.
Well, let's look at it. The house promoter. She's got the she's the house. Is she not the house fighter?
That's correct.
She's the house fighter.
Sure.
You don't factor that. You don't factor that in.
I think you have to. Yeah, I think you have to.
You have to factor that in. She's got 2 knockouts in 10 fights.
Yeah. Well, let's put it on.
I'm ready.
Let's do it. All right, it's a bet. Non-title pie bet. Here we go.
And she's not a physical fighter either. She doesn't use her. She doesn't lean on you or push you and grab you and walk you back. She gets up close and starts flailing at you.
And listen, I'll tell
you.
You
don't want to risk your title, Eric? Come on.
She's not a physical fighter. She doesn't use her size. And she's not really, I don't think she's bigger at all. I think think about it. You look at Christina Hammer, she's actually stronger. If you watch Christina Hammer in these fights, when she's grabbing these women and walking them back, she was even strong at 154 after depleting herself to make 154. She's fought as high as 168 pounds. She's won the title at 168 pounds against Zita Zataiko, who was undefeated at the time, and her very next fight, after Hammer vacated the title, she won the super middleweight title back. So, I mean, I think Claressa Shields is thicker, but it's not a functional weight like Big Baby Miller's weight.
Wow, did you just fat shame her?
No, it's not a functional weight.
How dare you?
She looks heavy, Eric. She does not. She looks heavy. She doesn't look as toned and fit as Christina Hammer. Christina Hammer's got abs.
She's a model.
Christina Hammer's got abs. And watch the fight Camp 360. Christina Hammer was doing push-ups. She was doing real man push-ups going all the way down. Claressa Shields was going 3/4 of the way down. She wasn't doing the real ones. In the military PT test, none of those push-ups would have counted. None of those push-ups would have counted. I'm just telling you right now.
Emmanuel Moreno, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
None of those push-ups would have counted. Christina Hammer does the beeb workout. She does the real push-ups.
The beeb workout.
Does the real pull-ups. Can do the dips like the beeb. We've trained several times doing strength training. Her and I. I mean, she can keep up with the beeb.
It'll be hammer time Saturday night. Okay.
I can't wait to smash that pie in your face. I wish I was there.
Good luck with that, son, because you're going down again. I'm telling you, Claressa Shields is winning this fight. Now, listen, hey, I'll be rooting for Christina Hammer. I like Christina Hammer a lot. I mean, she got us on Showtime and everything like that, you know.
Friend of the show, Eric. How dare you?
Absolutely,
that's my girl,
friend of the
Christina
show.
Hammer.
Friend of the show, Christina Hammer.
That's
how dare you?
That's my girl.
She likes talking to me. What am I going to do, you know?
What do you guys got in the chat? What do you got in the chat? You got Hammer or you got Shields in the chat? What do you guys got?
Shields, son.
What do you guys got?
She'll never come on our show again, Eric.
Sean Newton Boxing, you are not taking Hammer here? Oh my God, Sean Newton Boxing.
Do you think this goes down? Do you think this goes down like Calzaghe Lacey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could. Yeah, that could happen, but I want to see her knocked out.
Only one Hammer here. Oh, another Hammer. Yeah. Yeah.
Joel Lopez, salute. Rafael Dawkins, salute. Coach C, my nemesis, salute. Kobir, salute. Gucci Kid, salute. Emmanuel Moreno, again, thank you so much. Salute. Andres Vargas, thank you so much. Salute. Sean Newton Boxing. I'm his favorite host. Sean Newton Boxing. He says, I'm the nice one. I am the nice one. That's right, Beeb.
He's a hater. Don't listen to him.
Hamed 92, salute. Georgie Porgy, salute. And yes, Georgie, it's a non-title, son.
No, he should put up his title. Beeb should get a title shot.
Oh, I am. He's put up his title.
I just said
no, he keeps saying it's non-title.
Listen to Robbie. He's getting all technical. He kept saying
it's non-title.
It's non-title, son. It is what it is.
Okay.
Get the fuck out of here. It's title.
All right, you want to put the title up? I didn't want to embarrass you, but I'll go the full 9 and embarrass you.
Sean Newton, you praised me this weekend. What did you say this weekend about me?
He said you suck. That's a compliment.
If you praise me, I'm gonna friggin' take the excerpt of you praising me, and I'm gonna friggin' download it and make it just keep it as a soundbite.
Special video with us on Showtime, and then Sean Newton praising you.
I'm gonna keep it as a soundbite.
I can't believe Eric. She puts the show on Showtime. We do. You guys do a wonderful.
Picked her. 2 out of 3 picked her.
Okay, Sean Newton Boxing. I agree with that. Thank you for saying that.
What did he say?
Said we could talk boxing about the hate because I don't hate him.
Sean Newton. See, Sean Newton's such a nice guy, man. That's why him and I get along.
Sean Newton wakes up in the morning. He wakes up in the morning. Before he goes to work, he's out there banging videos out.
That's right.
Got to respect the kid that does that.
Got his hustle.
Are you a school teacher, Sean? I think you told me before. I thought you said you were a school teacher. Is that what you do for work? You're a school teacher?
Can't hate on school teachers, man.
I think he's a school teacher. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you said you were a school teacher.
Yep.
Yeah. He's a school teacher, so I got to respect him. He's helping kids. He's helping kids. Like my sister's a school teacher too. My sister's a school teacher. My other sister's a nurse. I mean, this is what we do. We help people in the Habib family.
You give them the right odds and everything, you know.
We do the tough jobs.
Hey, listen. In all seriousness, though, guys, if you guys are looking to make money this weekend, placing a bet on this fight, bet the opposite of what Beeb does because he's got a losing record so far this year. So there you go.
Let me ask you guys in the chat. Now Christina Hammer is a plus 325. It's not worth a value play. I think she wins the fight legitimately. I mean, this is a legitimate value play here. This is a 50-50 fight. I'm talking to some of my people. They like Shields too.
You mean Hammer, right?
Also, yeah.
I mean Hammer.
Shields. Everybody likes Shields, son.
I mean Hammer. I'm sorry.
Freudian slip, son.
I mean
Hammer.
Hammer.
Man, if this was a a modeling competition or something like that, man, I'm with Hammer all day.
Listen. All right, don't make this about looks now, please.
That's right, Beav and his Me Too movement.
Well, let's face it, Beeb, if it was a looking contest, there would be no contest. Hammer's got that one hands down.
Robbie, don't disrespect Shields, please.
You were
Hey, I'll disrespect her all day because Hammer's got her beat.
Dare you? What's the matter with you? She took a picture with me. She's a friend of the show. What's the matter with you?
You haven't had her on the show yet, Eric.
Did I ever tell you about that story when we were? It was at one of the. I think it was in Cincinnati. I think it was the Bronner fight, and we were there, and then she was taking pictures or whatever, and I had asked her for a picture. She was like, "Sure," you know. And the girl, I guess, taking my picture, she says, "Do you want?" Because K9 Bundridge was there, and she was like, "Do you want K9 in the picture too?" And I'm like, "What am I going to say? No." I'm like, "Of course I don't want K9 in the picture."
K9's cool though. Like when I was on Rope-a-Dope Radio, we interviewed him a lot of times. He's a real good interview, man. He's a nice guy.
He's a cool guy.
He's a real cool guy.
Yeah, he seems pretty cool, man. Nice guy. Can't believe you dumped all over him, Robert. You suck. All right. So we're all in agreement. We are all picking Shields. Beeb is going to get a pie in the face on Sunday, so stay tuned.
Me and Robbie are picking Hammer.
Yep, we are.
You're staying with Hammer, huh, Robert?
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So go in the chat. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see. It's been a while since we talked to this guy, man. It's been a while.
PBBC! PBBC!
He's a fucking mental case is what he is.
What's up, Snowflake?
Jason.
What's going on, guys?
Back.
Hi, Jason.
Where you been? So, see, you finally got a new shirt after 2 years? Congrats, bro.
A new what?
You finally got a new shirt after 2 years? Looks kind of nice, man. What is that? Like a soccer jersey?
Soccer jersey.
We can't see it.
He had to get a new shirt. He had to get a new shirt.
Pull it up. Pull it up. We can't see it. It's like cut off. Pull it up. We can't see it. Cut it up. It's cut up.
FC Cincinnati, baby.
Oh, yeah. FC Cincinnati?
One team in the MLS, son.
Man, that's disgraceful.
He had to get a new shirt after that beating Coach C.
Are they number one? Really?
Coach C. No, they're in the top 5, though.
They're really number one, or are you just bullshitting like usual? Are they really number one?
Well, they're number 1 in my heart, put it that way.
Full of shit. Guy, you guys were talking about Zanfer signing a deal with some companies. He's got Luis Neri with PBC now. Like, he's a co-promotion, and Jaime Munguia. What he does is he builds them up in Mexico, then sells like half of their rights for like a big one-time fee. I guess because bringing guys on DAZN, I don't know if that will help his like Mexican fan base, because his guys fight on regular TV in Mexico, and DAZN's not in Mexico, so I don't know how that would help him. So that's probably why. Also, did you hear 2 days ago, they said DiBella signed a deal with UFC Fight Pass for his Broadway shows, the one you announced earlier? That's going to be on UFC Fight Pass. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's what we said, yeah.
Eric said that already. He said that already.
Yeah, that's kind of
well, Jason,
cool.
Jason, if that's true, then why is Munguia fighting on DAZN? What about the people in Mexico that can't see him?
I'm not sure about that, but he gave away half his rights to Golden Boy, so he has like a co-promotional, which is good. I guess he's a bigger star than he ever was in Mexico, so that's good.
Okay.
Well, also, guys, Shane Mosley was on PBC Boxing today. Did you guys see that on the studio?
No.
He said Wilder's the only guy that could carry Mayweather's profile, like a torch that Mayweather left. Wilder's the only guy that's got the personality that he could carry. That's what Shane was saying. People got triggered on Twitter. They were really fucking pissed at Shane for some reason.
Can I give Wilder a shout out? Wilder's on YouTube.
He was on CBS last night during March Madness.
But let's give Wilder a shout out. He's friggin' on YouTube doing Q&As for fans.
He's awesome.
Who does that? Who goes on YouTube and does Q&As for fans?
I think that's pretty awesome.
No, that's good for him. I like the fact he does that.
That's why I say
he's accessible. He's pretty accessible.
He's an outstanding self-promoter.
He was at the Auburn game and shit, Crawford never travels like that. Crawford never comes out of his house like that. He comes out maybe fight time for one interview. And even then, he looks like half asleep and shit. He's like uninterested,
Last week
you guys were saying...
The guy never turns down an interview, never turns down a picture. I mean, I got to be honest. Because of the way he's worked so hard to promote himself, it's made me become more of a fan of his, to be honest.
How could you not like that guy, though? I mean, honestly,
he's really a likable person.
He absolutely is.
Only reason he gets hate is because he hasn't signed with Eddie. I can guarantee you 90% of that British hate will go away if you say, Eddie, I'm signing with you tomorrow. All that shit will be forgotten. No, he's one of us now. Come over now, Deontay. You know, that's how they are. They're fucking pieces of shit, man.
I will say one thing. He should show up at Madison Square Garden for that Miller fight. He should be there.
100%, dude.
That's he's always in New York.
Show up with that fur coat.
He's always it's gonna be June, Jason. But Lucas. Please. He's always in New York. He should show up for that fight.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
He lives in LA now. Also, guys, Andy Ruiz is fighting. I've been seeing some training videos of him. That guy looks fucking scary, dude. Like, he looks better than fucking Brazil to me. That guy looks sharp and fucking hits hard like a fucking mule. I mean, have you guys seen his workout videos on Fight App the other day? The guy looks sharp, man.
No.
You guys should check him out. He's fighting on
gotta go check it out.
Hey, you know what?
And he's fighting on Granado's Danny's undercard.
Yeah, real quick though, Sean Newton had mentioned that Marcellus Wilder, I guess Deontay's brother, he said he tested positive
for
drug test. PEDs, but I haven't seen that anywhere. I've seen YouTube videos.
No, we don't know that. That's a fucking lie, dude. Sean Newton's a fucking liar. They said we don't know what he failed for, so Sean Newton's making that shit up.
Yeah, I don't know what he failed for, but
it's not Sean. It's not Sean Newton's
fault.
Probably
weed, dude. It's probably weed.
Wait a minute. It's not Sean Newton's fault because another channel, Counterpunch Boxing News, put a video out on that.
Yeah,
it's
but
not Sean.
Where did they get
people, man? Rick Glazer's a piece of dude. Hey, Beeb, you know what Rick Glazer said about Wilder? He said, I was watching CBS, and Wilder reared his ugly head on CBS. I mean, these are the kind of hate. This is the kind of hate that Wilder gets. Rick Glazer said Wilder had to rear his ugly head on CBS and lying to the world. I mean, these are the kind of people they are. You know, these are the kind of people that are breaking this news. So you got to take it with a grain of salt.
I don't know if it's
they even
true.
Bashing him for going on CBS.
I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true or false, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, man, I don't know if it's true or false, but I mean, we'll find out in the coming days. I mean, that story will come out in the coming days. So,
hey guys, do you know? Remember a few months ago we talked about Brandon Figueroa being like the mandatory for Roman, but he's got a title shot coming up on the 420, right, on Danny versus Granado undercard. Isn't he fighting on that WBA title?
Who?
Brandon Figueroa. Did you hear about that?
I did see something about that. Yeah,
got a title fight. Yeah.
Let me go to that one.
WBA just made that a vacant title fight, I guess. A vacant title or something like that.
Why was this fight?
What do you guys think of?
Why was Marcellus Wilder's last fight a no decision? What happened?
They overturned.
I don't know. He was on. I guess he was trying to come back from the knockout.
They overturned it because that's what they're saying.
Yeah, if you fail a drug test to make it a no contest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a no decision. So did he pop or what happened?
We don't know. I mean, I don't know. They're the speculation that he popped, but I haven't seen it again.
They just don't know. They just don't know for what. They haven't yet. They haven't released the substance. That's what. So he did fail the drug test then. Yeah.
He had something in his system that he wasn't supposed to have in his system.
My guess is it was weed. So
why are you calling Sean Newton a liar? He's reporting what
he said PEDs. They haven't said that shit yet. He said PEDs. Nobody said that shit yet.
I'm not sure if he said PEDs or that was
also
or if I read that.
No, he didn't say PEDs.
I'm not sure if he said it or not.
He didn't say PEDs. He said it was a failed test.
Yeah.
Hey, let me tell you guys this. Did you guys hear what happened to Dan Rafael at the Grozdik fight? The drama that happened over there?
Yeah, you sent me that. Did you send me that article, Jason?
No, what happened?
Yeah, do you know Eric? He was in so you know he's the writer, so he's always gets the best seats to cover him, like the laptop with the table and shit, right?
Oh yeah, this is hilarious.
The Grozdik fight that took his regular spot and made him go sit with the audio guys and shit. He got pissed. He's like, "Where's my seat?" So the ESPN crew guys told him, "You can sit in our seat." And Bob saw that and he said, "Take that seat away too." Then Dan had to go back to the ESPN truck and do the reporting. That's because Bob was tweeting at Al Heyman saying, "Should I call you or not?" And then Dan kind of exposed it. He's like, Heyman's not on Twitter. Why are you trying to make fights on Twitter just to fucking for headlines? You know, I guess Bob didn't like that shit, and he fucking put him in his place. That's why People listen. That's why no media ever goes against Bob, because he is vindictive like that. You would never see somebody on PBC, or if they had a fight on ESPN, fucking try to take the seat of an ESPN writer, and you're fighting on ESPN. That takes fucking balls, dude. That means like PBC could never get away with that. Imagine that PBC having an event on ESPN and they fucking take ESPN writer and take a shit.
Dan Rafael is so fucking unprofessional on Twitter. He talks shit. He sits there, goes
way
back.
Less than Steve Kim, B. Way less than Steve Kim. Come on, way less than Steve Kim. And we have Steve Kim on the show. Let's be real. He's not the one retweeting people that are calling Claressa Shields.
Yeah, but
he would never do that.
Show.
I'll give him that.
Can I say one thing about Steve Kim? He's actually stopped.
Yeah.
He's changed a lot since he got that job. He's changed a lot since he got that job.
He had a meeting with Al Sharpton, I heard. He knows he can't. He knows he can't do what he once did because he's on ESPN. Dan Rafael is so fucking unprofessional. Sits there and fucking talks shit. Gets in these arguments on Twitter with fighters. Calls Andre Board on Twitter. And talk shit about fighters. Steve Kim said Andre Ward is bad for boxing and Victor Conte is good for boxing. So that tells you all you need to know about him. Oh, let me just finish this.
Go ahead.
Man. What was I going to say? Yeah, Steve Kim's article about Claressa and what's her name, Hammer. The one article he wrote about on ESPN, he's comparing who looks better in a fucking swimsuit. And you're over here complimenting Steve Kim. You need to reevaluate. That's what he's doing. He's trying to start beef between women.
I don't believe that's accurate. Dude,
why would he even write about swimsuits and shit in the article, Eric?
That was her
quote.
But
why is he writing about swimsuits, bro? This is boxing.
Quote.
Come on.
That was her quote. That was her
but why
quote.
would he even mention that shit? He's trying to start trouble.
You
know that.
What do you mean?
Because it was her quote.
Yeah, but why are we talking about that shit in a boxing article on ESPN? That's the only article you're writing about the fight. You don't have to talk about a fucking swimsuit. Let's talk about boxing.
I gotta call up Gloria Aldred.
Allred.
What did I say?
By the way, guys, that chick Sushi follows me on Twitter now.
That's
so
why
if you
she
want her on the
was
show, I can bring her on.
What's her name? What's her name? Allred or Aldred?
She follows me on Twitter now.
It's Allred.
Allred.
That's what I said, Allred.
Allred. Sushi follows me on Twitter. Do you want her on the show? I can get her on.
Who, Gloria Allred?
No, Sushi Art, dude. Come on.
Sushi Art. Well, of course we can get her on the show.
Chick with the airbag.
$10, she's going to do anything.
Let's get her on the show. Come on.
That's rude.
She'll give everybody a lap dance on air. You were asking fucking coach dude about fucking lap dances and strip clubs. I mean, why not? Let's get
his name. Get it for free. His name isn't Coach Dude. His name is the Great Coach C.
Hey, that's right.
You gotta show him respect when you mention his name.
Hey, Eric, when is the Skype coming finally? Do you know yet? Because I want to give a shout out to my girl Laura. She's listening from Ireland, so she wants to call in. What's up, Laura?
We have a good
Iowa. Why can't you call in on Block Talk?
Oh, she's from Scotland. My bad. Scotland. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why I said
Scotland. Okay, Iowa.
We have a good
Iowa, Scotland.
No, but
we have a good plan for the Skype.
Scotland,
me and Eric.
Soon.
People have been asking about that.
Robbie, enough.
I'm aware,
Robbie.
Robert.
Enough, Robbie.
I'm aware they've been asking about it.
Enough. I'm not from the peanut gallery with you.
Right.
Oh, come on, B.
Yeah, Robbie, you're part of the team. Let me talk shit. Let me talk shit. I got it, Robbie.
Robbie, you don't take shots.
Slow. We all know that.
You were warned last week about taking shots. You don't take shots at the host.
I'm not taking any shots.
You don't.
Skype coming 2040.
Don't take shots at your own company. You're part owner, dude. You're part owner. Don't take shots at your own company. You're part owner.
Me and Eric have a plan about how we're going to get the Skype to work.
That's right.
Yeah. Ask Ness, B. Ness will probably tell you. He knows how to do that shit.
Please. Eric doesn't like that when you do that.
Also, okay. But
you can't do
guys,
that.
What was I gonna say? Check out.
That could get you blocked again. That could get you blocked again.
I'm still blocked. He hasn't unblocked me like a little bitch on Facebook. I'm still blocked.
Can't call names.
My life has been so much easier.
But he's still blocked.
But I've got you on Twitter. We can
really
communicate via Twitter.
Shut up, dude. You're a little pussy, dude. You're a pussy. Come on.
I think your time's up, Jason. Goodbye.
Shut up. Hey, did you guys watch the face-to-face? Quillin and Truax? That airs right after the show ends at 9 o'clock, so check it out on Fox Sports 1.
All right, man.
Truax said when he... Listen. Truax said when he went to fight DeGale in England, he had $400 on his checking account. Think about that shit. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it?
We've thought about it.
That's why these shows are good. Yeah.
All right, man.
That's why these shows are good. They tell you about these fighters. All right, guys.
All right,
Peace.
Jason.
Jason, thank you so
Outta
much
here.
for the call. Thank you so much for the call, Jason.
He said, get
Goodbye.
out of here. Robert said, get out of here.
Robbie, you got to show him some respect, please.
Right now, his call of the year is in jeopardy because I think that belongs to Coach C.
I just hope Coach C doesn't call in and destroy Eric again this week, man. I'm just getting tired.
Hey, I encourage Coach to call. Go ahead.
Too.
I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired of Coach C wearing you out every week.
Yeah, me too. That's some tough stuff right there. Watching Wits with Coach C, buddy.
You must have nightmares about Coach C waking up in a cold sweat.
I do. I absolutely do. Yeah.
Coach C, what happened? Oh fuck.
Oh my goodness. I know I wake up at McDonald's and he's telling me what to do because we both work there. All right. Area code 805. You're live.
Poor Nacho. He always has to follow Jason.
What's going on, Nacho?
That's all right. Nothing much, B.
Listen,
as far as the...
what do you think of this WrestleMania? You excited about this WrestleMania tonight or no?
No.
No, not really. I don't really follow wrestling anymore, B.
Okay, sorry.
As far as the comment that Jason made about the Zanfer guys that are fighting on PBC, the thing is, or PBC or with Golden Boy, whatever it is with Munguia and Neri, their fights are still shown in Mexico. They're shown on national TV. They're shown on TV Azteca, which is on free TV in Mexico. So the fans in Mexico know who they are. They've seen them fight on free TV. So they know who both guys are. So they don't have to purchase the zone or any of that. They get to fight for free in Mexico.
Okay.
And then also, he was talking about that whole Steve Kim thing with Claressa Shields. The funny thing is he failed to mention that K9 Bundridge started talking some racist shit about Steve Kim, talking about he said that he knew him and that he knows that the guy is he called Steve Kim a troll, and then he said some dumb shit like, oh, I stopped eating Chinese food because of him. Like, who says that shit?
Right.
Like,
you know, like the double standard is real with some of these guys. They want to come out here and claim that everyone is being racist against them, but then they go and become racist themselves, and then all of a sudden, oh no, that wasn't racist.
I wish all this racist stuff would get the hell out of boxing and podcasts and all kinds of stuff.
Take it easy, Robbie. Take it easy.
Yeah, unfortunately though, Robbie, you got people like Jason and some of these other trolls out here, the ones that are always talking about this shit. They're always trying to like feed mistruths and have information, and like they don't tell you the whole story. It's just funny how they want to try and throw him under the bus when he didn't say anything about anything bad about them. They're the ones who started talking about him. So you know, it's the double standard is just ridiculous when it comes to certain people. But anyway, as far as that fight is concerned, I agree with Deep. I think Hammer's the better skilled fighter, and she's got the more experience. So I'm picking her to win. She'll probably end up dropping Claressa.
Yeah!
I think so.
Yeah!
She wins a decision, I think. So I'm going with Hammer to win that fight.
Now I could just go to the bank.
I'm definitely curious to see
Go to the bank tomorrow now because Nacho agrees with me.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Nacho.
Sorry, Nacho.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the two heavyweight fights they have on before the Shields Hammer fight. They have a couple of prospects that they're showing. One of them is this guy from Sweden named Otto Wallen, and apparently he's supposed to be like the next big thing coming up. He's been sparring with Big Baby Miller and Daniel Dubois and a couple other guys, and he's got a pretty nice record, and he's fought some decent competition. So I'm curious to see him fight on American TV on that card next weekend. And the other guy is Jermaine Franklin. I don't know if you guys have seen him. They've been kind of pumping him up. I think he's one of DeBella's fighters. So, you know, he's got like a long amateur record, and he's fought some okay, you know, competition so far, but I'm curious to see what he looks like too as well.
And
as far
and
as
what
the
I
other
found,
fight,
Robbie, hijack.
I'm not trying to go ahead.
Hijack, no hijack.
Jeez.
that's okay.
Nacho likes the flow. He likes
As
the
far
flow.
as the Lomachenko Crolla fight, that's going to be an easy win for Loma. I don't see Crolla having anything that he can legitimately pose a threat to Loma, and I pick Loma to probably stop him in about 8 or 9. And I definitely want to see what Gilberto Ramirez looks like at light heavyweight, because this is his debut coming up. So it would be interesting to see how much better he's going to look at 75, since all the reports lately have been that he's been struggling to make super middleweight. So it should be really interesting to see what he looks like at 175. And then the Munguia Hogan fight. I've seen Hogan fight a couple of times, and then I saw him fight against Jack Kolkai, the kid out of Germany. Hogan's a decent fighter, but as far as him being a mandatory for the belt that Munguia has, it's a decent fight for Munguia, but I think Munguia should still beat Hogan. Hogan hasn't fought anyone near the level of competition that Munguia has fought so far. So I'm picking Munguia to stop him in about 10 this weekend coming up as well. And yeah, that's it, guys.
Well, thanks for your call, Nacho.
Thank you, Nacho.
What I was going to say about the Shields Hammer fight, I find it interesting that Showtime is going to use their Showbox crew and not the main Showtime broadcasting crew. So I find that interesting.
Why are they doing that, Robbie?
I don't know. But I like those 3 guys: Barry Tompkins, Steve Farhood, and Rafael Marquez. They're a good crew. They work well together, so it'll be interesting.
That's disrespectful to the fight, because they're not the fight's not important enough, so they don't have to be the commentators for it. What's wrong with
I don't know. I don't know why they're doing that, but I found that interesting because they actually talked about that on the Showbox card Friday. How the 3 of them are going to work that fight, and the other guys weren't. So
why?
I don't know.
They don't think it's a big fight. I mean, that's the bare bones of it. They don't think it's a championship level fight.
Robbie, you know what? You got to do some research on that and find out why they're doing that, please.
Believe me, I would love to, because I was shocked when I heard it when I watched the fights. It's like, what?
Make some phone calls.
Yeah, I mean, but that's honestly, that's it. I mean, they put their B-level crew on it, and that's their B-level crew. I mean,
and believe me, I don't think those guys are B-level.
It really
I don't think those guys are B-level, Eric. I think they're very good. So.
Right, but it's not the main. It's not the main guys. I mean, like it or not, I mean they are the B-level crew.
Yeah.
There's an A show and there's a B show, and that's the B show.
I know.
And it sucks. You know,
not liking it.
Does.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either. Before we go back to the phone line, some quick news, some news and rumors here. The Terrence Crawford fight in Amir Khan is about 2 weeks away. And we talked about this about a week ago. There is zero promotion going on for this fight. According to the Madison Square Garden website, there seems to be a lot of tickets left for this fight. Let me see if I can get a screenshot here. Hold on 1 second.
Well, this just goes to show you, Eric, the difference between ESPN and Fox. Fox promoted the hell out of Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia. ESPN acts like they could care less about Crawford and Khan because they're not putting any advertising or any kind of promotion behind this at all, but yet they expect people to buy it on pay-per-view.
Yeah. So here, if you look at the screen now, it shows you, and Beeb, take a look at that. I mean, and those are resales are off. So because they are reselling tickets and there's more on there, but I took the resale off of there because I figured those tickets are sold no matter what, so it doesn't matter. So we just wanted the tickets sold. There's a lot of seats there, no? Is that just me, or is that a lot of seats?
So all that blue is empty?
Yeah.
That's fucking horrible.
Right?
That's really bad.
That's kind of what I thought too. I mean, I don't know, man. But like I said, man, as I'm looking at it, I'm like, that's a lot of blue there. I mean, if you want a ticket, I mean, pretty much you can get one. And you know how Madison Square Garden has got their own little thing or whatever, and they go through Ticketmaster. But yeah, I mean, and that's without resales. Like if I put the resale tickets on there, there's more blue. You know, but again, the resale tickets have already been sold, so it doesn't matter.
When's this fight? In 2 weeks?
In 2 weeks, on the 20th.
That's horrible.
Right, on the 20th, man. So, yeah. I looked at that and I was just like baffled, man. I'm like, that's a lot of tickets.
That's horrible.
And, and there has been zero promotion on this thing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And like I said, Fox promoted the hell out of Spence and Garcia, and ESPN has done nothing. I don't get it.
I hate to say this, and I hate to second guess people, and I hate to try to be the businessman and the manager here, but why did Crawford re-sign with Top Rank?
I've always wondered that question.
Well, Steve Kim did bring up a good point. I mean, $3 million a fight is more than anybody else in the welterweight division is getting, sans pay-per-view. And that's the long and short of it.
But doesn't that all change now with Errol Spence, though, after what happened just with Mikey Garcia?
Well, again, sans pay-per-view. You know, and now that, and I wonder, I would be curious to see how much pay-per-view revenue he gets as opposed to what, and again, we'll never know. But I wonder how much money he gets for this fight and how much Errol Spence.
I heard Errol Spence did pretty well against Garcia.
He did. That's a big, that's a big gate. They did great on the pay-per-view numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he got upwards of $7 million for that fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
think at least, no.
I would say he got at least $7 million for that fight.
Don't you think ESPN and Top Rank's going to lose money on this Crawford Khan fight because there's been no promotion. Nobody that doesn't follow boxing doesn't even realize that this thing is coming up. And Fox, you saw commercials everywhere for Spence. They'll be lucky if 100,000 pay-per-views are sold here. This is not going to do well at all.
Yeah, I don't see it doing that great, man. To be honest with you, it's definitely not going to do the numbers that Spence did. But
and remember, the last time that Crawford was on pay-per-view was the Postal fight, and it only did 50,000.
Well, a good thing now, though, is if Spence keeps going back to Dallas to fight, I think he's got a good following for himself.
Sure. I mean, and that was the disappointing part about the Pacquiao thing, is that was a big fight in Texas. I mean, Pacquiao sold out. I don't know. He didn't sell it out, but I mean, he's got a big following. I mean, in Texas, I mean, those two fights he had did very well there.
Yes, they did.
Well, I said, man, I mean, it's going to be Pacquiao versus friggin' Thurman.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like. And it's not like Spence Porter is a bad idea either. But I think that's a better fight for Pacquiao. I really do. I think it's a better fight fighting Thurman because I actually give him.
I think Pacquiao can beat Thurman.
I think so too, and you guys know how I feel about Pacquiao, man, especially at this stage in his career. I mean, I thought he was a great fighter back in the day, but
Yeah.
I'm picking Pacquiao in that fight.
Yeah,
that's right.
And Tony Ayo just brought it up in the chat, and we said it at the top of the show. Pac-Man signed with Ryzen. Absolutely, he just signed a deal with Ryzen. Now we don't know what capacity the deal is in. If he's just there to help him with promotion. If he's actually going to strap on the gloves and fight somebody, la Floyd Mayweather, like Floyd Mayweather signed in with.
It doesn't make it clear whether or not he's going to be a promoter there or if he's actually has a fight signed. They haven't specified that.
Right. Yeah. So
we don't know. So we don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. So we don't know. We don't know like what capacity and everything like that.
Pacquiao does always
making a ton of money in Ryzen, whatever, but
Pacquiao does always
really helps him at all,
Pacquiao does always copy Floyd, doesn't he? Though.
Yeah, a lot.
I don't know. I mean, maybe not. I don't know.
He's with Heyman now because Floyd was a Heyman,
Yeah. Hey, Beeb, since you did such a good interview with Bob, you ought to give Bob a call and find out why the Crawford-Khan fight's on pay-per-view and there's been no promotion behind it, because this doesn't look good at all.
I don't think Bob's going to like that question, Robbie.
Yeah, he'll take kindly to those questions, Robert. Maybe we ought to give you his number and you call him.
Yeah,
I'll be glad to. I'll be glad to.
You can ask him that question. I don't feel like getting blocked.
Hey, I'll be glad to. I'll be glad to.
He doesn't mind getting us blocked,
Yeah, I've been talking to Bob since I don't know 2014. Now I don't want to lose that connection.
Yeah, right. You don't ask questions like that, son.
I'm not afraid to ask questions like that.
Yeah, I know you're not. That's why you're not asking questions.
Hey, Hey, Eric, I ask good questions too.
You absolutely do. You absolutely do.
So.
All right, Elena is on assignment.
Oh
so
no, not again.
Of the week.
Not again.
Let me take a swig real quick so I can loosen it up.
Absolutely.
Oh, not again. All animals are gonna die now. Here we go.
All right. Chugga, 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 chugga. Choo-choo!
Oh, good Lord.
Jesus. Where do we go from there?
I hurt my tongue.
It hurt my ear. That was awful.
I hurt my tongue there.
I would rather listen to my grandmother beg for her life while being murdered than to listen to that again.
Good Lord.
Terrible. Terrible, Beeb. Terrible. All right. Train wreck of the week, Manuel Char. You guys remember the Suleiman conversation last week? Manuel Char rejected a fight with Dillian White. Manuel Char said early in the week that Dillian White is irrelevant and he is not interested in fighting him. Irrelevant.
That's stupid.
Char has not fought since 2017, and he has a fringe title. But White is irrelevant. Are you serious? So he lines up. I mean, he has a big money fight with White, and he says, "No, I'm good." Are you really? I mean, like what? Corey Lee Boxing, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
I would like Mr. Suleiman. I would like Mr. Suleiman, who represents Manuel Char, to call up and explain that.
Please, Robbie. Leave Suleiman alone. He's not here to defend himself.
Because that is bad. Because let's face it, Dillian White would beat Emmanuel Char.
I think he probably would. Yeah, I think he probably would. But you know, Suleiman gets a fighter and he rides with him. He does. I mean, and he's usually right. A lot of accounts. I mean, but like a few years ago, he liked Amir Mansour. I know,
that's right.
That was it. And he likes Manuel Char. Doesn't he? Yeah. Doesn't he hate Lomachenko? Isn't he the one that hates Lomachenko?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. So that is what it is. But
I mean, come on,
Manuel Char, not
that's horrible.
Please, Robbie.
Please, babe.
Alexander Usyk and Carlos Takam set for May 25th in Maryland. I like this fight, man. This is not an easy fight for Usyk. I like Takam a lot. I think he gives him fits. I don't know that he wins, but I think two things will be interesting. Number one is to see this fight if it goes a distance, and number two is to see if Usyk, how he carries that extra weight. It'll be interesting to see how Usyk adapts to that division, and to see if he's got the pop, you know, to see if it stays.
Now, I'm assuming that this will be on DAZN.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
You watching, Robbie?
No, I'm not paying that.
Please, Robbie.
Oh my goodness. Oh boy.
From this day, you'll be my new fool.
Georgie.
Hey, what's happening, people?
What's happening?
What's up,
okay,
Georgie?
So, all right, so
Lacking.
okay. Do you have Skype?
I don't get Skype, but they can put me on the Gmail shit.
Yeah, we don't. We'll have to do that in the week. We'll do that in the week because we don't run the show on. I know what you're talking about, the Hangouts. You know what I'm saying? We don't run it on that anymore.
We use a different software now to do the show, Georgie. We don't do it on
Completely
Hangout.
professional now, Georgie. Come on.
Oh, when Beef goes live by his own, that's when he used the Gmail stuff?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I do that.
Okay. I get it.
That's why we have all these pretty little.
Right. The production value now is so much higher.
Yeah, we have all these graphics and stuff now because of the software.
Right, which is why they put us on Showtime.
Say no more, baby. Who am I to fuck with you guys' flow, man? I'm just another head. But let me get my 2 minutes here, man. Well, what the fuck was the train wreck of the week?
Manuel Char.
Emmanuel Char.
Listen, I just want to know, I love you guys. I've been hanging out with you guys for the longest in the beginning, bro. Supporting the best I can. I just want you guys to come honest with me right here in front of the world and tell me this fucking mafia money is that big. That the train wreck of the week is not that video of Shakur Stevenson beating this man fucking silly.
Oh, why wasn't that?
What's going on here?
Why wasn't that?
We already covered
It was a train wreck that last show. Actually,
Oh, it was train wreck last week, Georgie. That's right.
That was the
Well,
last
it wasn't
show?
a train wreck, but it was.
Yeah.
It was, you know.
Apologies, I'm out of order. I just seen it. I'm still mad about that shit. That shit just fresh on my mind, bro.
We covered that already,
George.
Jordan.
Forgiveness. Let me bring. Robbie, please, Robbie, please.
Stop interrupting.
I love you, Robbie. Yo, man, come on, guys. That shit was despicable.
Oh, it's horrible.
The last 4 punches that this man landed could have killed Cat easily.
Awful.
Oh, so
And non-professional. A one punch from a single person, somebody don't even train to punch, can kill a person. And they want to talk about letting this man out of that fucking loop. This dude got to do time, bro. Make an example out of him. Too much forgiveness, too much bullshit going on in the world, man. Nobody's accountable for their acts. That shit, man, is disgusting, B. I don't want to hear nobody supporting this guy. I don't want to hear shit about that guy. The fucking ABs of the world. He takes the most serious mind, my nigga, to represent the sport. Doesn't matter if that motherfucker called you whatever. You can kill him. You don't touch him. Walk away. That's what a real man will do. Walk the fuck away. But now they want to confront 2 bitches and a dude. Let's move along, man. Let's move along. Listen, Claressa Shields. I don't know, baby. I don't know if she can pass that jab. That jab looks solid from Hammer. And that lady looks solid, but I never do this. But I'm a rock with the Americans, baby. I'm a rock my U.S. citizenship. I was born a citizen. I didn't become one. God bless America. Go, Claressa. We go on the private. Who wants some?
Told you. Yeah,
I go on Claressa all the way. USA, baby. Crickets. Crickets.
Georgie's a very smart man. I told you. When you can't beat him, join him, right, Georgie? That's what he does.
I can't feed off this. I can't feed off this negative energy.
Where's the fire at? Where's the fire at? Where's the fire at?
In
Atlantic City. In Atlantic City, Georgie.
The capital of the scumbag. That's gonna be scumbaggery 101, baby.
Wow.
That's bad.
Jesus, how the fuck you don't see that? Listen, doesn't matter what happened there. Claressa Shields just got to make it to the 12 belt. That's that. We could see another robbery like the fucking Fury Wilder or fucking Porter, the other dude and whatever, man. There ain't no way Clarissa's losing. So that's about that. Everybody on the chatty, please press 1 to time out Jason. I hate on that nigga like always. Listen, and put Corey on the line. Hold on. Another shit I gotta say, 'cause we talking about. Listen, man. The reason I love this show is because everybody can come here and give an opinion, and people here don't get time out. But when people come here as a guest, the top question gotta be asked. I'm not telling you to ask the question the wrong way and in the respectful way, but the essence of the question has to be put out there. You know what I'm saying? Like when Dougie came here, ain't nobody talking about De La Hoya and his bullshit. You gotta ask him.
Ask him what?
He represents the magazine. He owns that shit. It's relevant.
I don't understand.
You know what I'm saying? So we can be like,
what are you trying to say, Jordan?
I'm just saying, that if when people come here, because you guys ask people to come here and don't ask the question that have to be asked to move forward, to gain the trust between each other, so we can get together in this boxing shit and clean out this motherfucker. So let's throw 78. 78 came here the other day, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about these white channels. White channels are blocking me. And talking to my dude. Are you serious, cat? I've been blocked for your shit. I've been blocked for many LBBC channels. This is no myth. This is no myth. You allow people to block other people for no reason, just because they got a different opinion. And this is why the show is different. We don't roll like that here. And when you want to, the 78 comes here talking about how he's being discriminated and this and that, but what about the shit that you allow on your channel? And what the LBBC represents to other people like me in the other side? Those type of questions got to be asked. Jason talking about Kim being racist and this and that. Why can't we ask fucking Kim about it if he comes to the show? Let's ask. I'm sick and tired of fucking, how could you say, going around the bush, the deceiving, come on, bro. Let's cut all that shit and go to the point. Are you following me, big boy? Are you following me?
I hate to say this, Jordan, but I'm completely lost here. I don't know what you're talking about.
I disagree. I disagree
baby,
with
Robbie,
you.
You gotta stop watching the Brown Sugar app and get more related with what's going on in boxing. Don't be watching that and hating Charisse all the time. She getting old.
I do disagree with you.
Everybody out there. Listen, I gotta go. I'm gonna pay with the pie in the show. When I pay on the show, even though I send the video, but anyways. Oh yeah, and the fight that you're having with Bibbs gotta be title, baby. That's the only fight Bibbs getting for the last 3 years. That is a 50-50.
We'll put the title on the line. We'll put the title on the line. That's fine.
Right, Bibbs? That's the last 50-50 chance.
He always,
you have like in 3 years for the title.
Of course, because he always wants the chalk bets. So when it's not a chalk bet, like it's a 50-50 fight right now, what's he say? Oh, it's a non-title fight. I already called the commission. He asked to put the title on the line.
He called the commission. I called
that's
the commission
why it's
too.
called. That's why his nickname is Eric Chalk Lorda.
Shout out to Kenny Davis, Kenny Dennis.
Yeah, Kenny Dennis, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
KTZ for the super chat, $5. Thank you, my friend.
That's it.
And hit that motherfucking like button. Smash that shit. Yo, shout out to the world. Shout out to the Shady, Boston, everywhere. I love you guys. I'm outie.
Okay, Eric, it seems like you understood what he was talking about. I'm completely lost. Man, hit that fucking like button.
All right. So he's saying that we go too soft on questions to guests. And I couldn't disagree more. I believe that we ask questions in a respectful manner. I believe we ask Time for questions in a respectable manner. And listen, again, there's ways to ask questions and there's ways not to ask questions. If I come out and I ask a question and just become, for instance, ask Bob Arum why would you put this mismatch on pay-per-view? That's not a good question to ask.
No, I get that.
What would and it automatically, and as soon as we do it, it puts them on the defensive. And you will get nothing else out of that interview.
Now, you want me to show you how a skilled interviewer asks that question?
Please.
Well, this is a fight that many people would expect to have been on regular ESPN. Why did you decide to put this on pay-per-view?
Absolutely.
That's exactly, yeah.
This is why I'm the Beeb, and you're not.
That's right.
Woo!
That's right.
Woo! That's how you ask questions.
Right. There's ways to ask things, and there's ways not to ask things.
You see when I was talking to him, and I saw him getting a little upset.
Mm-hmm.
I almost had to talk to him like a child. I had to bring him back in line and calm him down.
Right.
Because and then when I did that, what did I get? I got more than I bargained for. The $100 million offer was bullshit. I never in a million years expected him to say that. It was almost like that movie A Few Good Men, how he got Colonel Jessup to say, "I ordered the goddamn cold bread." That's how this is how you have to do things.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and as far as Steve Kim coming on here and are we going to ask him if he's racist? I don't believe Steve Kim is a racist.
Now here's how you ask that.
If I thought he was a racist, I wouldn't have him on the show.
The
same thing about Montero and the same thing about all of them. Listen, I love having them on the show. All right? And I don't think if we thought they were racist, they wouldn't be here. I mean, come on. 78 is the same way. 78 Sports TV, the same exact thing. I have nothing against that guy. And he gave us a complete explanation on why he says what he says and the way he thinks and why he put the LBDC together. And that was good enough for me.
And I thought that was very well done. He did a very good, because I heard that whole show.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. I remember when 78 first started out, and I remember all the shit he would get. And all you had to do was go look at his comment section.
Yeah.
So you may think that, the way he is now, you may not agree with him now, but you have to understand why he is the way he is now because of what happened to him before. Now, does that justify everything? Maybe not. But it makes you understand it a little bit,
Well, and what's he doing again? And they were like, you hear people saying, "Well, I was banned from the LBTC." That's not his problem. All right, there's about 50,000 channels that claim to be LBDC or whatever, and if you get blocked from one of them, you get blocked from one of them. Now, that's not how we do things around here. But the thing is, like I said, I mean, we're different. We're a different show. That's the thing, man. I just, and Emmanuel Moreno just said Eric is a proud Mexican-American. I hope he has pride in his heritage. Listen, man, and 78's right. I mean, he really is. I mean, when there's Mexican guys fighting, I tend to back them. Do I always pick them? No, but I'm always cheering for them. Does that make me, bad? You know what I mean?
Is that racism or is it national or is it basically national pride or heritage pride, so to speak?
Yeah,
is it wrong?
It's heritage pride.
Is it wrong? Is it wrong to be proud? Is it wrong to be proud of your heritage?
And again, like I'll give you an example. Well, here let's do this. Sugar Ray Leonard is your favorite boxer of all
Correct.
time. Okay.
Correct.
Very little. I mean, there's very little we can say that you would come out against Sugar Ray. I mean.
Well, I thought he lost to Tommy Hearn's second fight, and he admitted he lost that fight.
Sure, but I mean, overall, like I said, I mean, there's very few things that you're going to disagree or come out on the other side of Leonard. You know what I mean? Because he's your favorite fighter, and there's nothing wrong with that. That stuff happens.
That's true.
That's true. And that just is what it is. I mean, so would I ask 78 if he's a racist? No, I'm not going to ask him that. Because I don't believe he is, and I'm like, would I ask Steve Kim that? No, because I don't believe he is, and that's a silly question. I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, that's a really like, insulting kind of thing to ask somebody, or it's an insulting kind of thing to insinuate for somebody. And I think that we throw that word around quite a bit. You know, I think that term gets thrown around quite a bit. And you guys don't realize,
a little bit
like,
too
how
much
damaging that is and how, you know, insulting that is to somebody.
It gets thrown around a little bit too much, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. I think this is Coach C. We're going to have to get Coach C an intro, B. Would you agree?
Yeah, if it's 4-4-3, it's Coach C.
You know, you should get him like an interview like a Terminator or something, because the way he destroys you every week.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a poodle barking or something like that. I was thinking something along those lines.
Don't try to diminish the power of Coach C.
That's right.
Coach C, you're up, man.
Hey, what's up?
What's happening?
Get him, Coach.
I see you. Hold on, I've got a bone to pick with you right now.
Get him, Coach. Get him, Coach. Unleash, Coach. Unleash.
I see you defending Shakur Stevenson in the chat.
Hey, man, he wouldn't be the first fighter to beat somebody up outside the ring. I don't know why we got to act like he's the only one to ever do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying he was right for doing it, but Christ. I mean, hey, look, man, look. I'm not saying he's right for doing it. It was probably pretty stupid. I didn't see the video. But, I mean, Mike Tyson shut Mitch Green's eye. We got video of Larry Holmes running across the Cadillac, drop kicking a guy.
Yeah, what about Adrian Broner in the bowling alley, Eric?
What about him? He was defending himself, Robert.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? That's not real news. It's not really on my radar like that, to be honest.
That's not real news.
You know, because I'm a boxer. Well, I mean, I'm a boxing fan, but I mean, like, we got the Final Four and we got other sports, man. So
Coach C doesn't like the tabloid. He doesn't like the tabloid stuff. He doesn't like the tabloid stuff. Coach C doesn't like the tabloid stuff.
Yeah, we
doesn't like it.
That in one more time. Can you look in that Coach C doesn't like the tabloid stuff one more time?
It's really not on my radar, man. But you know, real quick before I get into this fights, man.
Another thing,
what Eric? You think Dillian White is correct and right to try to fight Manuel Charr?
Yeah, why not? He gets him a French title. He gets him that WBA regular title. Why not?
Really?
Yeah.
How about fighting Luis fucking Ortiz? How about that? How about you fight somebody for real?
Yeah, well, I mean,
like,
you get a title, you get a title, and then all of a sudden, you're what? You're number one ranked contender in the WBA now. See how that works? That's not a bad move.
Really?
What's a bad move is Manuel Charr saying no to that fight. That's a bad move.
He just turned down the AJ fight. What are you talking about, Eric? He just turned down the AJ fight.
Come on, son. You can't even be serious about that.
He just turned it down.
What good is it being ranked number one? He's already ranked number one by the WBO and the WBC.
He turned down the AJ fight. They didn't even give him a serious offer. Come on, man. Everybody knows that.
Look, man. I'm not an accountant. I wasn't there. I've never seen a boxing contract. All I know is like this. Here's what I know. I know that he's lost to that guy before. I know he's on Anthony Joshua's highlight tape. And if you say, like he says, he wants these fights,
get him, Coach C. Get him, Coach C.
It's not like he was going to get. It's not like he was going to get $200,000, man. Like, get the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that he won't fight Luis Ortiz, he looks scared. Like, he's going to fight Manuel Charr to Luis Ortiz. If he comes to America and beats Luis Ortiz, all of a sudden him versus Deontay Wilder is a pay-per-view fight. So,
90
Him
seconds.
versus Deontay Wilder was a pay-per-view fight anyway. Him versus Wilder was a pay-per-view fight anyway. Come on, man.
Not unless he fights somebody for real.
Come on.
Nobody in America respects him, dude, for beating freaking Derek Chisora. Like, those are good domestic fights, but I mean, come on, man. Like, that don't count for nothing.
You don't think he's a top five fighter?
Forget about the fact that he wouldn't fight Pulev in New York.
I didn't see a contract.
He wouldn't fight Pulev in New York. Remember, he ran away from the IBF situation.
Yeah,
I don't care about contracts, Eric. That's different between me and you. So you like some of these other.
You're the one that said you didn't see the contract, not me.
Contracts, man.
You're the one that said I didn't see a contract. Now all of a sudden you care about contracts. Now you don't care about contracts. So which is it?
All I'm saying is I want to see the fight. I want to see these guys fight. And Dillian White trying to fight Manuel Charr.
Preach, Coach.
Some of the most pussy shit I've ever seen.
Preach, Coach.
He should be ashamed of himself. He looks like a complete chump. You know what I'm saying? If he's sitting here now begging, talking about he doesn't have a fight, and he won't fight Luis Ortiz,
Manuel Char
to get himself into that
turned the fight
mandatory
down.
position.
So who looks like more of a chump now?
Manuel Char what?
Manuel Char
Who
turned
cares
the fight
about
down.
Manuel Char?
He's the WBA regular.
Manuel Char is not on my radar, Eric.
He's the WBA regular. He should be, right?
So what the hell does that mean?
Well, he, in other words,
Maybe
if
he's
he
number
fights
one.
him, and beats him, then he becomes the number one mandatory challenger.
That's how the rankings work.
And then he gets a 70, and then he gets a mandatory split, right?
Yeah, he gets a mandatory shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if they can't agree, it goes to a purse bid, and what's that, 75-25? That's
No, not necessarily. Not, if it goes to purse bid, that's what I understand it to be.
I'm just saying, Eric, you sound stupid sitting here talking about he's going to fight Manuel Char to fight AJ, and he just turned down the AJ fight.
Oh,
like, that sounds stupid. Like, literally. Like, that sounds dumb that you just said that. Come on, Eric. You're smarter than that, bro. Come on, bro. You're smarter than that. But, all right, let's forget about Dillian Whyte, because at the end of the day, he's a non-factor. You really think that Christina Hammer is going to beat Shields and, like, not even be close? You don't think it's going to be a good fight?
I think it's going to be like a 7-3 fight.
Really?
The styles.
Who has Hammer fought?
Anna Sophie Mathis.
Out of both of them.
Zita Setakio.
I know Hannah Gabriel's better than all of them, and Shields beat her.
Hannah Gabriel's is okay.
I got Gabriel beating all of them.
Anna Sophie Mathis.
Gabriel's as strong as the ox, man.
Anna Sophie Mathis she had 24 knockouts and 27 wins. She's a pop. She hits like she has bricks, man.
All her fights took place outside the bowling alley.
Oh.
She can punch, man.
Yeah, I don't think so. I got Shields winning that fight. Now we all know Loma's.
That's the first smart thing Coach
C
has said since his call.
Whatever. You think Dillian Whyte got to fight Manuel Char to get a fight that he just turned down? Shut up, dude. Hey, do you think that Teofimo Lopez and Loma is a good fight?
Do I think?
I do. I like it.
Do you think that fight happens anytime soon? I like the fight too. I'm wondering if Teofimo is a little early for him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, I like the fight, but man, my problem is that I don't know if Teofimo is ready for him. I think he probably needs a couple more fights, but I would like to see him have a couple more fights before that fight happens, because I do think I tell you what, if he can't beat Lomachenko, I think he comes real close. He gives him a lot of problems, because I really think that he's something else, man. I really do.
I don't know. I don't know if he's necessarily ready for that smoke yet, man. I like Tio, man. I don't want to see him get ruined, man. Loma's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? But that's my call, man. I mean, you guys over here defending Dillian Whyte trying to fight Manuel Char. Eric, are you from this country, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
Get him, Coach. Like, show him no mercy, Coach. Show him no mercy, Coach. Get him.
Like frickin' AJ runs from Showtime to fight on some streaming effort nobody has. And
did you mention that Canelo was getting like what? How many millions is Canelo getting on that little streaming app?
Yeah, and did you realize? Did you talk about the zone? Did you talk about the zone still an asset to put on live events? You guys talk about that at all? Ever?
Say that again.
Yeah.
Are them doubling up their price? Huh? 6 months in.
It doesn't bother me, man. It doesn't bother me because I'm still paying the same price.
Yeah, and remember, they've already raised their price, brother.
Robbie, you already said that, please.
Yeah, so.
And Canelo has 10 more fights on that little streaming app, by the way.
Slow it down, Robbie.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that's like an NFL contract, man. Like, you know, that guaranteed money is not so guaranteed, bro. Like, who really believes anything that comes out of anybody's mouth from over there, man? Like, this guy's trying to fight Manuel Char. AJ, he says he wants to fight Wilder, but he only says it out of his mouth when Wilder's negotiating with somebody else. Fury runs to ESPN. UK boxing is just this is what they do though. You know what I mean? This is what they do. Except for Lennox Lewis and Ricky Hatton, this is what they do. So I mean, we can debate on Joe Calzaghe or whatever, but they're just sitting around and negotiating. They got to sit here talking about contracts and shit now. Like, what kind of boxing fans are we? We're sitting there talking about contracts. We all go to work every goddamn day. We're talking about money that we'll never see.
Yeah,
that's right.
I just want to see the fight. Like, I don't care who makes more money. I don't care who wins the damn negotiation. I want to see who wins the goddamn fight. That's where I'm at. I don't know where this pussy shit came from, but it needs to go back to Europe. See, this is what the Klitschko's did to us, bro. That's why I can't wait for all these European heavyweights to get knocked out. Then we can get back to talking boxing, to talk, welterweights, middleweights, lightweights, and all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because they've really gotten in the way of what really matters, which is the fight at the end of the day. But I'm about to cook my salmon. My wife is here looking at me, man. I'm gonna listen to y'all, man.
Put some lemon and dill on it. Put some nice lemon and dill on it, Coach. Put some nice lemon and dill on it.
Just eat it raw, man. Just like sushi, man. That's how I eat mine.
I'm gonna do that.
Lemon
All
and
right.
dill.
Nah. All right, fellas.
See you later.
Coach C getting the omega-3s. He's getting the omega-3s. That's what, because he got the brain food. That's why he schools you every week. He's eating the fresh salmon with the omega-3s, the brain food. He's light you, Robbie. Light you up, Robbie. Light you up like a Christmas tree.
Beeb, the only problem I have with this call is he picked Claressa Shields.
All right, Coach C, he can do that if he wants. Can't agree with him all the time. I agree with him 99.9% of the time. I can't agree with him all the time. I don't want people to think I'm riding his nuts or anything.
No, of course not. No. No, never.
Coach C with the brain food, the omega-3s.
He's gonna need a whole lot more brain food when he calls in here, son.
Coach C don't mess around, man. With a nice grilled salmon. Superfood. Superfood, Coach C schooled you.
No, but I still agree. I still agree. Emmanuel Char was an idiot for turning that fight down.
Slow down, Robbie. You're messing the flow up.
I told you. 8:04. You're live.
Hey, Corey. I guess Corey's not here. Oh well.
Is he on?
Yeah, he's on.
Corey fell asleep.
Corey fell asleep. Oh,
is he actually sleeping?
I don't know.
I don't know.
In the room with him? How do I know? How do I know what he's doing?
Corey! Corey!
Corey's probably,
oh, well.
Remember I used to call up and he'd be like the drive-thru getting food?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
You call up, you hit it. Beep, beep,
That's
beep.
right.
That'll be $9.95, please.
Oh, well, you can't say we didn't try to put him on.
Hey, we tried. We tried,
Oh,
man.
God.
We tried. And he gave us money too, man. Oh,
yeah.
Corey. All right. Well, listen, man, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. As always, you can catch Robert on Twitter at Ringside Robert, or you call Ringside Robbie's Corner at
Area code 773-572-7781, and leave a message, and I'll be sure to get back to you.
All right. You can catch Joe Habib on Twitter at JHabib1 and find our YouTube channel at RingsideReporterLive.com. I'm at Ringside73 on Twitter, and we will see you next week.